What's her name, Maya?
Even though I don't know you, I'm not letting nobody sell you crack. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. That's right. And it's worth something.
This is Blackwatch with Commanding General Yahanna, the only man to lead blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans.
God made man on this earth. The white man he made man. God made man. God wants man to obey him.
Bringing you real news.
We don't need a black man in the White House. You need a black man in every black house.
For many years, there's a lot of black people who didn't realize how deep the racism of white America was.
You ain't gonna do nothing unless you decide where you gonna stand at with the Most High.
This station is now the ultimate power in the universe.
Righteous solutions to issues plaguing our nation.
Boy, you better wake up and see the power that is within blacks, Latinos, and Native Indians.
Join us every Monday from 9 to 11 p.m. Blackwatch. Let the show begin.
Yeah. What's going on, Israel? ISUPK.com is the website. I'm Commander General Yana. We getting it in, and we getting it in at a rough time, man. This Omicron is about to kick the butt out of Esau. So we getting it in at a rough time, man. Glad you could join us tonight. Got the heavy hitters in the building with me. General Mahaiman, General Maka'ala, General Hazayan, Officer Marah and his whole squad, Yediah Ibad in the building. You understand? Marah, I like them armbands, Hebrew. I see you getting in there. I see you low-key dropping some bombs on us with them. You know what I'm saying? I think you're selling some of those for the Passover, aren't you?
Yes, sir. I am, sir.
The Most High in Christ. That's what's up.
More things coming. We got some sisters out in Philly sewing and all that good stuff, sir. Most High
in Christ. That's what's up. All right, let's get it in. Where we going first, y'all?
Comic-Con, sir. Across the United States, houses of worship struggle to rebuild attendance.
Yediah, you hit the story from the gate. I see you trying to get me in the game today. You telling me, wait a minute, are you telling me that a year after the coronavirus, they can't get a Negro back in church?
Comic-Con.
I mean, they done punted the ball like it was nothing. Go ahead, let's get it. I want to jump in.
Comic-Con. When Westminster United Methodist Church in Houston resumed in-person services late last year after a 7-month halt due to COVID-19, there were Sundays when only 3 worshipers showed up.
Damn! How they pay the rent with 3 worshipers? That's a lot of real estate right there. Them pews, all that old wood grain in the back, the humongous Jesus piece back there up on the wall, the royal red carpet, that's a lot. The stained glass, that's a lot of cash. God. Only 3 people in the pews. And let me tell you something. These prophecies of the Most High, okay, they are as real to me as my name. They are as real to me. This flesh that's right here, that's how real these prophecies are to me. You understand? And that's how sure we are in the I.S.U.P.K about these prophecies. That they are so real, so right. Like now, come on, generals. Y'all gotta help me out. You ain't gonna tell me a short time ago this was a near impossibility. Tell me I'm lying.
Wow, right, sir.
They was stacking them 25,000 deep.
Yeah.
Just art and paint. You know that. Okay. They was stacking them 25,000 deep. TD would roll his fat behind up on the stage, up on the stage. and 25,000 would be up in their chair. Listen, Eddie Long went and molested 5 babies. Can y'all hear me? Let me get my mic a little closer. I don't think y'all hear me. In the name of Jesus. 25,000 in attendance after Eddie Long get caught molesting 5 babies with the purple on. And they still brought him stacks of cash. This is insanity, man. And now finally, the Most High with all his power. I know I need to let y'all read the story and say, but y'all got to get me right on this. Like, we can't take this. This can't be taken like no little light thing. This was the one thing, and you used to always say this, Mohammed. This was the one thing that was recession proof. Was that church? Like, in all the recessions and the hard times that we saw happen to us as a people, we would always on Sunday see that church packed to the rafters. Right or wrong? It could have been a bad economy, a bad shooting, a bad politician put in office, a bad economicals, anything. It could even be a national disaster, like what happened in Kentucky when the Lord stepped on them, or what happened down there in wherever that thief is, that preacher that got that church that had that money in the wall. Is that Atlanta?
Houston, I believe.
Houston. Like, even when they had that humongous flood out there, them churches never was short. Am I lying? And finally, we starting to see the prophecy of the Lord coming. And what's so beautiful, I'm going to get up off it. What's so beautiful about it is this. Nobody can say this is not the Most High. Like, you can't, nobody, even Donald Trump had to say this was an invisible invisible enemy. Even Donald Trump said it was an invisible. You cannot deny the Most High. Like, when them locusts hit Pharaoh, he could not deny that was the Most High. There was no army to fight. There was nobody to throw a spear through. There was nothing but the power of the Most High. And brother, that's what we seeing now. Church is empty. Salakia. Go ahead. You know what I'm saying?
If I could just remind everyone about the prophecy you made about this.
Salakia,
look up very recent tapes of Commanding General Yohanna saying that the Christian church was going to fall, that they were going to be selling roses on the highway, and with the vagabond Jew breakdown. You know that, sir. We always broke down the vagabond Jews were going to be those preachers who used to be rich and famous and popular, and now, because of the growth of the men of Christ, they were going to fall, and now they were going to be poor following behind us. Now, I remember you saying that. I can see it in my head for years and years and years, breaking down that vagabond Jew breakdown all the time. And now it happened. And like everything you say, I don't ever have enough faith it's going to happen, but I repeat it because you say it.
Most High credit.
So said this. That this was going to happen. They were going to be poor and broke and vagabonds, and they were going to lose their churches, and we were going to surpass them and then take the kingdom of heaven. And now the church is empty, and I cannot believe it. It happened. And I remember hearing it was going to happen. That it was going to happen. They were going to be the vagabond Jews. The vagabond Jews. And it happened just like you said it.
Most High credit. Like, it's crazy. Go ahead, Salaki.
No, sir. Jeremiah 14:15. Therefore saith the Lord concerning the prophets that prophesy in my name, and I sent them not. Yet they say, sword and famine shall not be in this land, but by sword and famine shall those prophets be consumed.
Yikes.
Damn.
That's a rough one.
That's a rough one.
Where's that at?
Jeremiah 14:15.
All that prosperity talk and the famine got him.
There you go. Good.
I mean, come on now. Like black people, Latino people, Native Indian people should really see how much of a hustle that was. I mean, how they just straight. I mean, just they basically ran a 3-card Molly in the church. What is it? 3-card Monty, where you take the little 3 cards, and you just beat them for every 20 they got. That's exactly what happened to them. And it's amazing. And with the violence on the street and everything else going on, ain't nobody trying to give that preacher no money, but they are supporting the I.S.U.P.K.
Yeah, man. Right, Venom.
We getting supported in the I.S.U.P.K. And we getting supported because everybody now knows, everybody in the hood knows that what we were saying was right. Everybody in the hood knows what we were saying was right all this time. Like, they've been listening to us from a distance and really halfway not giving no real credence to what we were saying, a lot of people out there. But once this hit, it was like, oh my God, what's happening? And then they remembered everything we were saying. And now we getting good attention. Big shout out to y'all that hit not Times Square in New York. Good night. Went back up in there and rocked Times Square, something ridiculous. And I hear they talking about, they debating whether they should have the New Year's show. You know, the usual dropping of the ball. As they saying they don't want to drop that ball because of the Omicron. Was it? How do you pronounce it? The Omicron?
I think Omicron. I ain't
Like transformers, sir.
Huh? Like they don't want to let them crowds get into the middle of the city because of the Omicron. They scared it's gonna spread like a wildfire New Year's Eve. Because they're gonna be drunk and drinking and getting locked up and filling up them jail cages. And the Omicron will be running free all over the place. Like Salaki, y'all jump in, please. The prophecies have come. Go ahead. Somebody trying to get in, Salaki.
They don't want to lose that money though, sir. So the last thing I heard, they saying they want to encourage everybody to wear masks, although they're not going to force them to. They want to encourage it. They don't want to lose that money.
Like going out there.
I'm sorry, sir, please.
Salakia, I was just gonna say, like anybody that goes out and tries to celebrate a demonic holiday like New Year's, after the Lord showing you that he emptied out the churches and that all your preachers was lying. If you dumb and stupid enough to go out there and celebrate Christmas and New Year's, you put your life in your own hands and you are a fool. Because why would you put yourself in that danger for something that is satanic? And we ain't worrying about no coronavirus in here. But we certainly should worry if we're going to go celebrate a satanic holiday like New Year's or Christmas. Oh, man, that can't look good. That bring back memories.
Color gun, sir.
Oh, come on, man. Y'all get me right. That's about 15 years old, isn't it? That's those old pictures. That ain't no modern pictures. Those are modern this weekend in New York. Oh, my God. Like, let me tell you something. You look at that picture right there. Like, that is biblical prophecy you looking at before your eyes. Like, please get me the scripture where Christ said, go out in the highways and the byways. Like, you looking at absolute biblical prophecy. These cats look like Power Rangers or something that came down. Look like what's the Transformers?
That's right.
They came into the city from somewhere else. Like, they definitely don't look like the people that's walking around out there.
God.
Like, this was absolutely beautiful right here. Read it right quick, you die. Y'all jump in anytime, please. Damn. Look at that. Go ahead.
Honorable Concert. This is the book of Luke, chapter 14 and verse 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges and compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
Like, that's how you do it. Like, they went out into them highways and byways and they compelling that house be filled. And let me tell you something, with the churches being dwindling down, the brothers busting out in Times Square, the prophecies happening before your eyes, you should also know that this is going to lead to the Lord stepping into this empire. Like, this is like once again, it's in my mind, it's 2 + 2. It's going to always equal 4. And that is exactly what's going to happen. it's exactly the way these brothers have stepped out there in Times Square. Like the scriptures say, y'all get me right. The scriptures say that prophets shall not be removed in a corner anymore.
Damn right, sir.
They're not going to sit up in these giant mega churches and act like everything is okay and the prophets is on some little raggedy corner somewhere. The prophets are in Times Square and the world is watching them. While the church got 3 parishioners, like the world, this is on the world stage. And brother, let me tell you something. I grew up on 44th and Broadway. You see that 44 sitting up there? That 44 is everything to the old school Miami. You know about that.
I know one cut.
You know Haas, you know about that. That 44 West. Okay.
Island where Rocky came out.
Yes.
That's right there where Rocky came up.
Yes. We grew up on that corner. I used to eat the Haagen-Dazs ice cream from the ice cream shop every week after I finished speaking and blew my tonsils out of my mouth. I go right across the street over there and get some of that Haagen-Dazs, that old German ice cream or wherever the hell they from, and eat that ice cream and know that this is going to bring forth God's will. Listen, I'm proud. Give it up for the brothers in New York. I'm proud of y'all. You know, big shout out to Captain Katazab, man, who put it together. I didn't mean to get off the story, but once again, it's amazing. 3 people in a giantess church, and they got no answers. And listen, and ISUPK is filled with answers in here.
That's right, sir.
We filled with answers. I'm sorry you died. Read a little more. Y'all jump in. I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Big thing, sir. How do you want to say something?
No, so I can wait, you know. I can wait.
This is a real fast thing if I could, sir. And here's if I could break down in essence why the Christian church will fall in a logical fashion. The Bible says that a friend is for the day of adversity.
Mm-hmm.
The Christian church is that friend that is only with you in good times.
Yeah.
That's it. And so something like a pandemic or poverty or death or destruction, that will crumble the Christian church because they're not set up to be with you in hard times.
Right.
So when hard times come, they will fall.
Yep.
And now hard times are here, and the Christian church is going to fall because they are the kind of friend that is only with you when times are good. Salakia, sir.
Damn right. So right. You know what I'm saying? So right what you saying. You got more or we moving on?
Proves they're not the true shepherds or the sheep. You understand? Because when the wolf come, they gone. You know what I mean?
That's right. That's right. And certainly the Omicron is the wolf.
Damn right, you know.
The Omicron is the wolf right now. And they gone.
Right.
And get me right. Did I hear you just say that they said in January that thing is going to explode?
Of course, sir. They're preparing for a giant. They said right now on the car coming to class on the radio, they said that Omicron right now has surpassed every variant as the leading variant that everyone is getting. So it's surpassed the Delta variant right now tonight in the car on the way over here, right? And they said they're expecting a gigantic spike after New Year's Eve because now on Christmas, everyone is going to gather with their families and friends and parties. And then on New Year's Eve, everyone is going to gather and they're expecting for a historical outbreak after New Year's Eve. And they're getting ready for it now.
Dang. I mean, if that's not onto the death angel that came down during the time of Moses, I don't know what is. Like that's not onto the death angel. And once again, we've unlocked the Bible. The Bible has been unlocked by the I.S.U.P.K.
Damn right, sir.
The Bible was locked before we came along. Before we came along, the Bible was locked. The Lord unlocked the Bible and handed it to the I.S.U.P.K. And you could try to feel whatever you want about the past, this, that, Abba Bibbins, all of that. It was the Most High that raised the I.S.U.P.K. up and unlocked the vault. There you go. Oh man, that's back in the day.
Rocky.
44th and Broadway. That's it.
Okay.
That's the spot where Lahal pulled the brother who got arrested out the cop car.
Yeah.
Right there.
Right there. That's Rocky right there. That's Rocky right there.
That's something else.
Rocky went across the country and examined white America and came back and said to us, white America is an evil race. and he's white.
Come.
And said it was an evil race.
Mhm.
Hardcore.
Like you said, sir, this is the Most High coming at these pastors, man, for all the evil they've done. The Lord prophesied this here. The Lord said he's going to come to them. The Lord said, woe unto them pastors, man. Give me Jeremiah 23, 1 and 2 real fast. If I could, real fast. So the Lord said he's going to come see you for what you have done to the children of Israel.
Yeah.
Scatter the flock. And how you scatter them? With that Christianity garbage you teaching. With that Roman Catholicism garbage you teaching. With that Islam garbage you teaching. That Buddhas and all that filth out there, man. The Lord said he's going to come see you. So now, when you see on the news, that story we bringing out, sir, you know what I mean, that you done prophesied about through the Spirit of the Lord in the I.S.U.P.K, you know what I mean, that the Lord going to come see him. Now you see the Lord come deal with him, man. There's a prophecy coming to pass. And no matter what y'all may think out there, the truth started in the I.S.U.P.K is going to end here, man. Right. This is the home of the truth. That's right. The Lord had his spirit and has his spirit in his place. The Lord put his name on the I.S.U.P.K. Read that scripture for me, brother.
Khan, sir, the book of Jeremiah, chapter 23 and verse 1.
Read.
Woe be unto the pastors.
The word woe for everybody means destruction, man. And you know how you destroy the Christian church and pastors? You take away their money. That's the one thing they worship, sir, is that money, that filthy lucre. So now when you see about 3 or 4 people in there, guess what? They ain't getting no money. You understand? Woe unto them. Go ahead.
Khan, that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture.
They destroy and scatter the sheep of the Lord's pasture, man. Who are the sheep of the Lord's pasture? You are so-called black man, so-called Hispanic man, so-called Native Indian American man. You are the Lord's pasture. You the flock. And they scattered you. How do they scatter you? Think about what they pushing on you. All the philosophies and doctrines, Christianity, democracy, Roman Catholicism, Islam, Egyptology, all this filth out here, man, what they pushing on you. And the biggest main component, because all of them fall around Christianity. All of them ain't nothing but Christians anyway. Fall to that Christian church, man. That filthy, disgusting cesspool of liars and hypocrites, man. The Lord is going to come see you for what you did to us. Go ahead.
Khan, saith the Lord. Therefore, thus saith the Lord God of Israel, against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away.
How do you scatter us? Once again, with that philosophy of Christianity, man. And under Christianity, far Roman Catholicism. Go ahead.
Khan, sir. And have not visited them.
Why did you visit us? What does the Lord mean by not visiting us? I mean, you're not telling us the truth according to the Lord. Like, you're not coming to see us and telling, look, man, listen, you so-called Negroes and Americans, blacks, Hispanics, you the 12 tribe nation of Israel. We got to stop doing X, Y, Z, and now do ABC. Lord said, don't do this. Don't call yourself Christian, Muslim, bow down to a cross. You ain't telling them to not do those things. If anything, you are pushing that philosophy and doctrine on them. So because of that, go ahead.
Khan, sir. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings.
Now the Lord gonna come see you. How he gonna see you? He gonna make it to where only 3 people come to church. Where the church door is shut down. You understand? Where the church door. Listen, I remember one time when Creflo Dollar made a comment where he said, for everybody who don't tithe, on the third Jesus, line them up front. On the third Jesus, shoot them all. For not giving them money. Now you can't get no money, sir.
Ain't nobody here to shoot.
Yeah, ain't nobody to shoot now. Yeah, cut one cut. You know what I mean? That's it, sir. Salaki, gentlemen.
If I know we're gonna get off of this story, but y'all got to let me read this one thing. And I mean, this, again, Everybody that's out there listening, welcome to the show. Glad to have y'all with us. You should not look at this as a light thing. This is huge that these churches are empty during this time. Like, they sold our brothers and sisters, which is why the brotherhood was so important in this truth, because they sold our brothers and sisters such a lie of prosperity while they were slowly dying on the vine. And here we came along through the grace and mercy of our holy King Yahushua and took these records and screamed at our people on these streets and showed them that it was not going to be good, that it was not going to go the way they thought, that it was not going to unfold like they thought. And as a result, in the beginning, they rejected it. But brothers and sisters see that now, that, wait a minute, they were lying. And that's such a huge thing. Real quick, and I'm going to get up off it. This is what the New York Post said. This is funny as hell. They said, "'Tis the season for mass mandates, booster shots and travel warnings, and a massive push for COVID-19 tests. Within the virus's Omicron variant surging in the 5 boroughs, polls and experts are raising the alarm to try and keep New Yorkers vigilant during the holiday season. We don't want to discourage people from gathering, but do what you know is smart." I'm gonna tell you what's smart. Is smart is don't go follow that holiday at all. That's what's smart. And keep those masks on when you're with people if you don't know if they're vaccinated for sure. It also is a reminder that we have to take the steps now that everybody we love is with us for the next holiday season. We have the power over that. Listen, that is such important in this. They feel the power being removed from them. They feel like what's happening to the world before our eyes is the Most High is moving himself into the position of authority of the world. That the Most High is moving himself from something you read about in a book called the Bible to an actual living force that you now about to see when he touch you. And brother, he touching in this Omicron and these coronaviruses. And that's just that we haven't even begun to look at the side issues, the violence, the what they call it, COVID madness that's taking place. Some people that had the COVID for so long and can't get rid of it. We don't know what's coming next. This is about the 4th or 5th variant that they've had. Like, the Most High is sending a terrible, terrible plague on this empire. And that's why our people, you should run into this school. If you was ever on the fence or not sure or studying, stop that. Stop that. I'm checking y'all out. Stop that. Go get in the class now and get under the protection of the Most High and get ready to follow the things the Lord said so that you can really escape this madness. Because, I mean, it's descending, and this is just the beginning. Scripture said when you see these things, these are the beginning of plagues. So it's going to get real nasty in a second. It's going to get really, really nasty. Ain't nobody going to walk around wondering about God or whether they should obey God or what is God's plan and purpose. Everybody going to fear God. Like the scriptures say, every knee shall bow, every tongue shall confess. And that's what we're seeing going down before us right now. And it is amazing. So, Lockie, go ahead, y'all. Did I lose y'all? I think I lost y'all. I think I froze out. No, I'm still on the screen. I don't know if y'all can hear me, but I'm still on the screen. Can y'all hear me out there? I hear you now. Yep.
Can we fix him a little bit?
I hear you now. Can you hear me?
Very low. Okay. Go ahead, please. Okay, I got a 1 from your sides.
Khan. COVID testing to expand as New York City braces for a substantial spike in Omicron cases.
We can't.
Okay, I think we got that though. Didn't we cover that? No.
I hear you, Deion.
You hear Deion, sir?
To your phone.
Okay.
Yes.
Go ahead, Deion.
Khan. Mayor de Blasio.
Say it again.
COVID testing to expand as New York City braces for substantial spike in Omicron cases. Mayor de Blasio announced on Sunday that New York City would continue to expand testing and emphasize vaccinations and boosters amid an increased demand for tests as Omicron drives a surge in new COVID cases.
Sir, you heard that correct?
Yeah, I can hear you. I see a little delay, but I do hear you. Can y'all hear me?
They're saying I'm getting Texas is a super lag.
Yeah, I think that's what it is.
Yeah.
I caught it after, sir.
So we might go ahead.
He said he could hear us. I have him on the phone. We just can't hear him here.
Yeah, I hear y'all fine.
Hearing both sides.
Can we pause for a second? Fix it?
It's up to y'all. Whatever y'all want to do. The lag is on my side.
Oh, he can't do nothing about it.
He said it's up to us whether we want to pause or not.
Let's pause it. Take a break real fast. We'll take a break, sir, for 1 second. All right. We'll come back with the stories, the Omicron, the Christmas demon, all of these stories. Deion Sanders in 1 second. Everyone stand by. Wrap it up.
About the Byzantine Empire. He's learned about the popes of Rome, that they were black. He's learned many things. I'm going to bring him up. Bring him up. Bring Rocky on up here for a minute. I'm going to let him come up and he can say a few things. Look, we did some research on him also, and we found out that there's a lot of white people in New York and in America that don't like this guy. And they classify him as, what was that name? They said communist. Right. They said that this guy is a communist, that he's in the movie production business and that he's a CIA operative and a whole lot of other BS they said about him. They said a lot of negative things about him and gave us a lot of hate mail to our school on this one white. Can you believe that? Here's white people sending hate mail. Yeah, that's right. Sending hate mail on this guy. Because we showed him on TV one time and they said that he's a communist and an atheist, and they said there's a lot of hate mail. But what I'm going to ask him some simple questions. And I'm not hypnotizing him. I'm not the amazing question. I'm not waving a wand. He's not on crack. I don't see any heroin tracks on his feet or his arms or anywhere else on him. But I'm going to ask him a couple of simple questions, and he's going to answer the questions directly without playing a game. According to the Bible, I'm calling him Rocky fictitiously. Rocky, according to the Bible now, from what you've read, maybe his name is Rocky. I don't know.
Good to go rocking it out. Commanding General Yohanna will be right here in 1 second, all right? What do you have, Dai? What do you want to ask me? Absolutely. Let's go into that when Commanding General Yohanna gets back. That was the big boxing match where that brother he got knocked to night sleep by a white man. That's a rough situation, all right? So we'll bring it out when Commanding General Yohanna gets back. We'll bring out Deion Sanders and how he's the coach at a HBCU and how he the number one recruit, high school recruit in the country, signed with an HBCU, Jackson State. We'll go into that as well. Let's finish up where we were, all right? Let me give you a few numbers on that black church situation, if you want, all right? Just for your thinking, so you can mull this around your head. You can look this up, Udaya. Last year, Amazon, everyone knows that Jeff Bezos, I think he's the richest man on the planet Earth. If not, he's close, right?
Come on.
He made Amazon, not Jeff Bezos. Amazon, the company, made $23 billion last year. You get that, right? Since 1980, the black church, not all churches, not mixed churches, not mega churches, the black church, meaning your mama's storefront church, Creflo Dollar's church, T.D. Jakes' church, predominantly black churches, have made $450 billion. Wow. You can go look that up.
Wow.
Meaning the black church makes more money than Amazon.
Wow.
More money. Not that cat in Houston who was stealing all that money from the IRS or from the parishioners hiding in the walls, Joel Osteen. Not Billy Graham. Not the big white preachers. I'm not talking about them. I'm talking about the black church, the hallelujah, jump up and down, the preacher and the first lady. Those churches, they made $450 billion since 1980. Amazon made $21 billion last year. Do the math on that. How much money would Amazon make since 1980? Somebody who knows math can look that up. Here's my point. That is where all of your finances are. Yep. The money that you're looking for to make a business, to go to college, to redo your home, to invest in real estate, all of your money is wrapped up in church. If you had that money, or better yet, if Commanding General Yahanna had that money, we would have an industry bigger than Amazon. And I'm not talking about the money you give the lottery, which by right belongs to blacks and Hispanics. I'm not talking about the colleges or the Nikes or the jewelry or the clothing. I'm only talking about the money you give preachers. That's $450 billion since 1980, according to math. Yediah?
800 billion.
That's how much Amazon would make. Oh, I'm sorry. What? Say that again.
Black churches have collected $800 billion in 10 years.
Now, see, I want to say
your diet didn't say that loud enough. I couldn't hear him. You got to say it in the mic.
Salagi, sir.
Say it again.
Black churches have collected $800 billion in 10 years.
Sir, Amazon made $21 billion last year, in 1 year. The black church is bigger than Amazon. It's bigger than Home Depot. It's bigger than everything. It's bigger than all of the successes of our enemies. It's bigger and it does nothing.
Go ahead, y'all.
I'm sorry, sir. No, I'm sorry, sir.
No, go ahead, huh?
Come on, the water, sir. The water, sir. And you know what, General Hyman, sir? Our enemies know that. They know that. I remember reading an article where Amalek made a comment about us, like our neighborhoods is what they call liquid money. And we get it and spend it right back out. And don't put it back into ourselves. You understand? And they know, and they made the comments that the blacks in America, if they was to come together, there'd be a powerful force in the world. But because we are so separate, and they named it, they said that separatism comes from the different religious philosophies they follow in a land called America. What keeps them separate.
And Haas, here's the problem. This is what angers me. They have come together and they raised $800 billion in 10 years.
Yeah.
That's black money.
Yeah.
That's not Chinese money or Arab money. Yeah. That is your grandmother, your mother, your aunts. The big hatted wearing, no man having women in your community. They raised $800 billion, which if they were a company would make them the largest company on the planet Earth.
Yeah.
Black people.
Yeah.
That's the problem. There is no other problem. The problem is church. If you get rid of church, you would have the money you need to refurbish your community, to police your community. Defund the police, defund the churches.
That's right,
If you
sir.
defunded churches, you would hire your own police officers, your own people to clean up the streets, your own maintenance, your own sanitation. You would have a city like those Amazon factories. They like cities.
Yeah.
They like self-contained cities. Those Amazon factories. Are they factory warehouses? You would be 10 times bigger than Amazon with black church money. Listen, here's a pledge that Commander General Yohanna made to me, and I'm making it to you because he made it to me. Give him your money and watch how well he spends it.
Right,
watch what he does with it. If you gave Commander General Yohanna that $800 billion in 10 years, you would have your own police, have your own sanitation department. You would fix the potholes in your streets. Everything in your community would be safe and beautiful, picturesque. You live in a goddamn painting, a beautiful flower-laden painting. If you gave Commander General Yohanna the money you give Creflo Dollar and your black churches, you give it to people who squander your precious resources. Give it to the men of God. Give us a goddamn shot at it. Let us see what the hell we can do with it. We know what they do with it, which is nothing. And then the minute the coronavirus hits, they leave and go run and hide, and your grandmama dies.
Damn right, sir.
Salaki, sir.
Damn right. They out in the Caribbean, out on their yachts, hiding out with 800 billion in the bank. And you know what else it says out there so heavy? It says that the biggest thing that the Christian church has, it's its ability to brainwash. Like, how do you have a people? How do you have between blacks and Latinos and Native Indians some 25 million people that are completely brainwashed, that they do not see the $800 billion sitting in their lap? Like, we are on drugs, starving, going to jail, shooting and killing each other. And we have $800 billion sitting in our lap. And we are so brainwashed, we cannot even look down and say, why don't we use this money to fix us? That's how good the church is at brainwashing us, man, and destroying our mind. And brother, they've done an amazing job at destroying our mind. And thanks be to the Lord, we waking up now. Thanks be to Yahweh Shai, we standing on our feet. We standing on our feet now, and we're awake. And guess what? When the rest of this nation becomes awake, they won't put a dime in the churches no more. But here's what will happen, like General Muhammad just brought out. Here's what will happen. All of a sudden, all your problems will start to go away. Your problems will start to go away before your eyes, and you won't understand how. Just like, and I got to say this one last thing, and let General Mayag in real quick, that this is, I wish we could so see this as a people. What's happening to us under these churches is exactly what Pharaoh said when he said, let us deal with them wisely, and made us to work, you understand, ourselves to the nub. Like, they played us so well that we destroy ourselves, even though we're billionaires. As a people, like Muhammad, you brought it out so crystal, we're billionaires. The black and Latino and Native Indian, remember, that's black money. You didn't even get the Latino money and the Native money, which is going to bring you closer to about 14, 15 billion. About 15, maybe about 15 billion is going to take you to. We are billionaires as a people, yet we are in utter poverty because they've got something way better than a gun pointed to our head. They've got our brainwashed in this place. And once again, boy, oh boy, it was so righteous of Christ to give us the understanding that we were to be, if we were to look at our 12 tribes and not everybody. Because looking at our 12 tribes made us have to love us, see what was wrong with us, see what was harming us. And because of it, we said, damn, now this is where the problem is. And one last point, General, if I could, there's so, like, this should be studied as a psychological warfare study, because what's so amazing about it is this: they did all that to us and then taught us that church was the place to love, that this was the place God was given, that God, like in our mind, God is sending his message down through this church, when in this church is the one place we are completely being robbed for billions. Like we rich, and we can't get none of our money because we so brainwashed. Go ahead, Salah.
I have the numbers. The captain in Houston gave them to me. It's terrible. Amazon in 10 years made $210 billion. The church has made $800 billion. Amazon made $200 billion. The church made $800 billion in 10 years, defunded churches. And here's what's so sad. At least Amazon does a job for you. You order the package, it gets to the house, sir.
At least.
I mean, come on now. I order a few things.
Right.
My wives, I think that man lives in my house. He delivers things. I know his name because he's at my house, right? At least they're doing a job.
And giving out jobs.
Say again?
And giving out jobs.
Oh, my God. And giving out a job. Hiring people at your house every damn day, every night. The church does nothing.
Right.
They're making 4 or 5 times.
Yeah.
Amazon makes.
That's perfect hustle. Perfect hustle. It's like that. That witchcraft coming out of church is that same witchcraft that come out of the casino. You know what I'm saying? First, the Christian church makes us individuals and selfish as hell, like General Muhammad brought out in his class. Selfish and individual. So that money sitting on our lap, we ain't thinking come together with the rest of my people with all that money on their lap. It's all right, I got this money, the church, I'm gonna shake these dice and go get his money to pastor and gamble and hope God come back and double my money for me. You know what I'm saying? And bless me. But they thinking about themselves, not everybody else. So now all that money just floats into this casino, aka the church. You know what I'm saying? And they just constantly every Sunday pulling the lever while the church gets rich and buy prostitutes. You know what I'm saying?
And who would defraud a man money that he's earning? If the black church was doing or providing a service, who could defraud them money?
Right.
The problem is they do nothing.
Right.
They don't help your physical problems.
Right.
Meaning you're going to still be poor, still live in the ghetto. They don't help your spiritual problems. You still need marijuana, cocaine, and crack to get through your day. You still are depressed. You still are dying. They do absolutely nothing. That money would be better spent if you went to a damn therapist. And if you're going to church for your mental health, pay a therapist to work out your problems, and then you might save $600 billion.
Like they're crying every week,
crying
and waving their hand, and you're leaving out the same messed up moron that came into the church. Like behind said, at least a therapist.
Something, somewhere you spend this money. If you're going there for your character and for your mind, go to a therapist. Save $500 billion. Why not do that? It's cheaper. It's damn sure cheaper than going to church. Going to see a therapist is cheaper than going to church. But if you're getting nothing, then why don't you give that money to a good government? And in the Israelite school of UPK, brother, we have good government in here. Good government.
Damn right. Listen, they don't know Commander Gen.YAHANNA. He will buy half the cities. There could be communities in every city gated. You want to feel safe? You want the drug dealers gone? You want to live in peace? No more gunshots? He can make it happen. Send that money in, man. It'll happen, man. I dream about it all the time. Our own little gated community.
Planting trees. Planting trees for the environment. You love the environment. You need more trees. Well, guess what? They're cutting down damn near every tree to put up in their house for 2 days and then burn. That's bad for the environment. If you give your money to Commander Gen.YAHANNA, there'll be no more Christmas. There'll be no more cutting down of Christmas trees. Now the air is clean. trees giving off oxygen, the water clean, the fish tastes good, life is better because now you are paying a worthy servant.
That's right.
And that's the key to everything. Salakia, sir.
Listen, listen, I'll tell you what. I'm Salakia, sir.
No, go ahead. Go ahead, huh?
You be able to mess around and go ahead. The kids be outside to be able to ride the bikes and play and have fun. You ain't got to worry about all that garbage on them streets.
My goodness.
Listen, I'm going to say this to you. I remember one time I was coming from the store to my crib right in Southwest, and my neighbor in his rib was going at it a little bit. And I remember her talking to a pastor. And as I'm walking by, I hear him say, well, she said, sir, well, pastor, sir, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. And he said, well, sister, the Bible says, don't be unequally yoked. And I was like, if it ain't working out with you and your husband, you got to leave. Because I can't be unequally yoked. I looked, I almost said something like, what you doing? And come to find out, talking to the brother, and that this is just an example of bad government, is what they give you in a Christian church, like how you said, GEN.YAHANNA. Come to find out, after all that, she was having sex with some cat across the street.
Surprise, surprise.
You understand? And I'm like, oh, ain't there some stuff here? Like, he's saying all this stuff about leaving her, and she already committed adultery. I'm like, wow. Now, that's an example of bad government. Tell you the wrong things, but what they do is, like how Commander Yohanan says all the time, GEN.YAHANNA, they say things that make you feel good. They think to touch that emotional button inside of you. You know what I mean? Or you can do whatever you want to do to make you feel good. That's why the bunch of women in that church. That's why they all there. You understand? That's where it comes from. But in here, we got good government. They give you righteous judgment from the Lord. And the Bible said the flock of my pastor of men is what you see in the I.S.U.P.K. The men of the Lord. Slocky, sir.
Damn right. And let me tell you something. And every brother and sister out there that got good sense, you got to be gravitating away from what you've been learning in these churches, man. You better start saying to yourself, what is really going on in this world? What is this? Is this God? What is this? And you better start to get away from these people and start now moving in a different path and letting the Lord step into the zone and show you through these prophets exactly what you should be preparing to see and to happen, and having your head in the right place and having your nation built. Once again, I am constantly, it's like a constant study to me. And the constant study to me is always, what do these slave masters, and not just here in America, but I look at the Romans, I look at the Babylonians, I look at the Egyptians. What did these nations do to keep the slaves in their empires underneath their foot for hundreds of years in many of these cases? And it always came down to two things. One, of course, was their brutality. The second one was their brainwashing, which of course became more important because because you can't beat a people but so much. You can beat them and beat them and beat them and beat them and beat them until either there's nothing left in them or they rebel enough against you to overthrow you. But you can brainwash them, and that lasts for hundreds of years. That brainwashing becomes intergenerational. Now, you might have to step in here and there and assassinate a leader or do some other harm, but you got way, way less problems when you can brainwash the slaves to be enslaved. And brother, that's what has happened to us here. And it's a horrible, hard thing to break away from, but we're going to break away from it. The Lord is doing it. Like, I hate to say this. This is going to sound crazy because I don't want to see harm to none of the 12 tribes of the children of Israel, but I cannot help to feel some sense of, I feel some sense of Jonah. So I hate to say it. I feel some sense of the Lord did exactly what we've been saying he was going to do.
That's right.
Since 1969. Like, I feel such a sense of vindication that here it is. We knew he was going to do it, and now he's doing it. And boy, now's the time for everybody to say, okay, we recognize that you brothers in the I.S.U.P.K and sisters are really right, and you really are doing what you say. It's amazing. So, Lockie, I know I got a delay. Let me stop right there. Go ahead, y'all.
Please. Come on, come.
Can you hear us?
Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you. Can you hear me?
We might be good now. Go ahead, Yadai.
Excellent.
Jackson State's Deion Sanders snagging top recruit makes HBCU football the big story.
Sir, if I could, I'll try to explain this story. Jackson State is a historically black university.
Okay, HBCU.
HBCU. Now, there are, high school recruits come out every year, and they rate the high school recruits. So they know who the number one is in the country of every high school football player.
Okay.
You know who the number 20th is, the number 10, the number 50. You get my point, sir?
Yeah, I get your point.
Now, I believe this was either the number 2 or number 1 recruit in the country, and he chose to go to a HBCU, which is, hasn't been that. I mean, I don't know when they've gotten such a high prospect. I can't remember when such a high prospect has chosen an HBCU. Go ahead.
Since the early 70s and Walter Payton,
Yes.
sir.
Walter Payton in the 70s, early 70s.
50 years ago.
In the 60s.
60s.
So, I mean, that's 60 years ago.
Yeah.
So let me understand this. Is Deion Sanders a coach at this HBCU?
You die.
Connor Wakan, sir. Deion Sanders is the head coach at Jackson State, sir. He's been a coach for about a year and a half now, sir.
Can I please say something, brothers, that nobody will understand on the planet except us?
Please.
What happened with Deion Sanders and this recruit is the complete formula for making those HBCUs greater than Harvard and Yale.
Yep, that's right.
Like if they had thought to themselves, we will, and I'm not talking about the staff, but if brothers and sisters said to themselves, I'm going to go to a HBCU rather than Harvard, it would be looked at and frowned upon like it was ridiculous and a joke. But it would empower those black colleges to teach black curriculum and to empower black people in a way they've never been empowered before. You know why I know this? Because there was somebody else that went to Harvard. And that person that went to Harvard became president of the United States of America. He went to Harvard Law. And his name was Barack Obama. And he turned around and did absolutely nothing for black people.
That's right.
Now, if you have a black leader that learns from black people and chooses, and that's another thing, if I could, our best women in many cases go to I.S.U.P.K, so-called best on paper. I'm not meaning actually. The best women are the ones that come into I.S.U.P.K because they got the heart to turn against the empire and stand with their husband. But I'm saying on paper, in society, the best women go with Edomites. The best athletes go and play for Edomites. The best businessmen go and work for Edomites. The most intelligent, genius level black people go to the schools of Esau. The most talented young recruits go learn sports from Esau. Esau picks us off the vine like you pick the best grapes in a grape field. He goes out there and peels off the best grapes and uses it for himself and makes his empire great. That's why all during February, I am constantly in the bathroom vomiting all February, because all February, all I see is stories about black people who fought every racist Edomite on the planet to get a position with these Edomites just to help these Edomites build their kingdom up.
God.
Just to let these Edomites come up. Captain Malquad just texted me and said they are burning Deion Sanders' jersey.
Wow.
And once again, like him, Colin Kaepernick, Like them brothers start once again. This we've been saying it. We've had this solution. The solution is simple. We got to turn back to the Most High and get on our business of us. We just brought out. We got 800 billion. We're billionaires. That doesn't include all of the business and commerce that we have. That's just what went into the treasury. That's just what went into the so-called treasury of black people. That don't even include the other tribes. That's why Christ went in that temple and whooped their ass. You understand? Christ went in that temple and performed the jailhouse ruckus on their ass in that damn temple because them bastards was getting all the billions and they were robbing the brothers and sisters with it, just like your church has been doing. And that's why the Lord sent the coronavirus. So it's 3 people in the building. If we took on this spirit that this brother took on right here, guess what? All the top athletes would be in HBCUs. And guess what? Nobody would be able to argue against them. And guess what else? When they started getting ready to go to the NFL and all that, the NFL would behave themselves. You know why? Because they'd be scared to death that these college brothers is going to come together with these coaches and come together with these HBCUs who would become rich as Harvard because they would have so many intelligent black students coming to them. They would be scared to death that you start a black league and free yourself of the NFL. Like, once again, you got to compete with these people. That brother decided to go there. And listen, and if I could, last point, I'm going to pass it over. They burning Deion Sanders' jersey because this is supposed to be fair. Like, recruits are fair trade. You're supposed to be able to go to any recruit, try to convince him to come to your college. Am I right, or am I wrong? What I'm seeing in these movies about college ball, the recruits come and try to convince you to go to their school. Am I right? So what did Deion Sanders ain't do nothing wrong, but convince them to convince this brother to come play with him, which is unheard of with HBCUs because, of course, they've starved and brought into poverty HBCUs. So it's damn near like an unwritten rule. If you have that type of talent, don't you ever go to the so-called nigger school. You go up in the top levels. But he chose not to do that. And, of course, it's an unwritten rule. So these Edomites are burning Deion Sanders' jersey. You can't be black all the way and be in the sports world. It's not allowed. It's not allowed. And let me tell you something else, last point about them colleges. Them colleges are interview houses for which slaves they're going to make stars. That's what they are. You go to that college, you get your ranks up, your numbers up, and then these top colleges who have robbed black people blind, who own all the real estate in the ghetto. These universities own all the real estate in the ghetto, charging you higher rates than normal, running all kind of insurance organizations and running the city and strangling black people and making themselves rich. And now you start coming up on a level you're not supposed to go to the nigger school. That's an unwritten rule. And that's why they started a campaign with burning his jerseys. When what is happening to Deion Sanders is you're supposed to see that and smell the freedom in the NFL. Edomites always talking about freedom, this, freedom. We want freedom in America. Black people should also look for freedom. And their freedom comes from the Most High. And the Most High require a small thing. Come together in the brotherhood, and I'll free you. Follow these laws, statutes, and commandments, I'll free you. And brother, I know I'm running. Y'all jump in anytime you get ready, because he gonna add so much to the HBCUs. Now the HBCUs better come together with him.
Right.
Now they see the opportunity. You understand? Captain Malcar said Deion Sanders better beef up his security. Captain Malcar.
Surely mad. He saw
like now they supposed to come together. They supposed to see blood in the water and make a move man, to recruit and bring these brothers closer and strengthen them HBCUs. And you know how many more black people would go to college, man, if them HBCUs were stronger?
Sir.
Come on.
You know how many people would go to college? How many more of us would go to college, man? And more important than that, do you know how many of us would come out of college with the proper mindset to help our people? With the proper mindset to choose our people first. With the proper mindset. I'll tell y'all a quick story if I could. I was calling up my doctor's office. I was going to make an appointment, right? And as I'm trying to make the appointment, she's telling me about how they having a shortage of doctors in the city. And I said, oh boy, well, I guess we got to get more black people into colleges. And the first thing out of her mouth was, well, how do you know I'm black? I said, it don't matter if you black or not. It's obvious to everybody that black people need more doctors. like she was insulted that I said in a city like Philadelphia, filled with black people, she was insulted that I said we need to get more black doctors. Like that's not true or something. Like we ain't supposed to try to get more of us. The Asians ain't saying we don't need more Asian doctors. The East Indians ain't saying we don't need more East Indian doctors. Certainly the Edomites ain't saying, look, we got enough doctors. Why a black man can't say we need more black doctors? It's an unwritten rule in the empire that you cannot love and promote your own. Otherwise, you are a racist and an outcast, and you should be shamed. When in fact, if anybody had any sense of care, we would be first on the list.
Damn right.
So lock you.
And so why she thinks you would have never said that if she was white.
Right.
Meaning, like in her mind, you only said that because you thought she was black, as if you wouldn't just say it to a white man.
Yes.
We need more black doctors.
Yes. And was offended that I said it.
Yeah.
Damn near like I could have said it to a white person, which would have messed things up.
Yes.
So how dare you say it? Not being able to see me on the phone, how dare you say it?
Yeah.
And the shameful part is she was black.
Of course she was. Because a white person would have said, that's true.
Yes.
Clearly she was black, which is why it was even controversy.
Yes.
In my mind, you should have never said that because I could have been white. And then white people would have been made uncomfortable for 3 seconds on the phone.
Yes.
If it was a white man, they would have said, well, that is true. We should get more black doctors.
And it's as though, and you ain't gonna tell me that's not what's killing us.
Oh, come on.
Like what's killing us is not being able to compete. Like Deion Sanders broke the mold. He went and competed and got him a recruit to an HBCU, which is what we all should be doing. Makes no damn sense, man.
Can I read what this devil said?
Please.
I can ask a question for you.
Okay,
what is the reason that they're angry at him? You about to read why they're mad? Like, what did he do? Break it down.
Opinion. Okay, GEN.YAHANNA broke it down earlier. How colleges is a place where the top athletes, the top ones, go to white colleges where they can pick and choose who they want to make stars, and everybody get rich down to the sports analyst.
Right.
He can talk about it and make his money and get behind them. But now he's not doing that. It's kind of messing up the normal flow of how the sports world get their money and how it runs.
That is
and can I add to my please?
Go ahead.
Now you know I don't know nothing about sports, but I know about the ghetto. That's here's what it is as well. What it is this young brother chose not to go to God, the white man. Instead, he chose to stay in hell with the niggas. It's, you know what it's like? It's every movie you ever heard of some poor black kid getting the opportunity to go to college, to be the first in his family to go to college. It's like that. Even though he's going to college, but to them, he's denying himself the good white world. He's denying himself going to God. Instead, he's choosing to stay in the crack house, in the poorhouse. He's choosing to stay on the bottom. When, brother, that's what the hell we better start doing. We better choose our own, even though so-called heaven is up there. And brother, that reviles an Edomite. That makes an Edomite, you're the dumbest fool in the world. And like General Mayak added, and you're gonna mess up all of our money. All of their money.
If I could, sir, okay, if black people should really look at this story, because if this is controversial, if this causes an uproar and backlash and people hate Deion Sanders, you should really look at that, because that is disturbing. Because there are probably hundreds of white schools that he could have picked, and there would have been no uproar. He didn't have to go to Alabama. He could have went to Tennessee. There's probably 30 or 50 of them. If black colleges can't get one, then we might be oppressed.
Yes.
Because white colleges, let me make a prophecy. I never do this because I don't know nothing about prophecies. I bet you white colleges are going to get some black students this year. I bet you white colleges are going to get a lot of black people to play sports at white colleges. They're not hurting for black players.
Right.
And the white college
and the best black players.
Yeah, this guy not going to a white college is not going to stop white colleges from having football programs. This is one guy.
Right.
If this can't happen, then we might be oppressed.
Yes.
Because this should be nothing. This should be one guy of the top 50, 100 students that come. And guess what? Next year, there's a new class. There's a new top 10. You telling me one time since the 60s, a black college can't get a player without Deion Sanders getting threatened? Then there might be something on top of you that is making sure you cannot succeed.
Right.
Yes.
Yourself.
Like, damn right. You're so right. Like, this is supposed to be celebrated. It's supposed to be like HBCU came up, done got the top recruit. You know, like a sensible white man would be saying, "Hey, man, the HBCUs are pulling up too. We looking good."
That's what I think. Like
they got one too. Congratulations. They got them one too. But Esau is like, no, not one. Not one. Stay in the ground, in the dirt. Make sure every athlete that comes to your school finishes up and goes and works for the welfare department.
Like, don't so diabolical that he does. They're genius. They're genius on his part, because he knows that this is a seed and it cannot be planted. You know, this seed next year it'll be two of them doing the same thing.
Listen,
that is something to be studied. The way he thinks is peculiar. It's like weird, and it's so driven. Like, it's driven and hard to get. It's so driven and meticulous. You think this would be like, well, they got one since 1965. Let's move on with our life. But no. That is something hard for me to really understand. So,
and if I could,
he's on it in a different way.
And if I could,
go ahead.
If I could, and it says something that we don't understand as the 12 lost tribes, as the children of Israel. We do not understand that these other nations do not have to be told you have to look out for your own. They don't have to be told that. Like, you don't have to, like them Edomites that ran up in there on January 6th, they did not have to be told much, and they overthrew the capital. Because they instinctively come together when they feel threatened as a people. You threaten these Edomites with their extinction and their power and their authority at any time, and nobody will have to tell them, let's gather together. They will show up already instinctively against you. But our 12 tribes have to be taught it. You understand? Our 12 tribes have to be taught that we must come together and stand for ourselves. Otherwise, we just will not do it. We'll just die on the vine. They'll do it, all of them. I've checked them all out. Any heathen that you come across, they will instinctively come together to help their own. And there's something else about them that we don't understand, that they also instinctively can pick up when you come together about your own.
Yeah.
They picks that up. Nobody had to tell them to hate Deion Sanders. Nobody had to tell them to demonize Deion Sanders. It never had to be said. All they had to know is that this top recruit came to Jackson and he did it because of Deion Sanders, and the Edomites came together to demonize him and threaten his life. They don't have to be told that. Go ahead.
I said 1 in 70 years.
In 70 years.
And it's an emergency.
Yeah. I mean,
that's a wild thing.
Listen, let me tell you something, if I could.
Go ahead, sir.
I mean to cut you off.
No, you're not. Go ahead.
I was gonna say that him going to Jackson disrupted dinner parties.
Damn.
Disrupted dinner at the table. And here's why. Because dinner at the table is, we let another Negro into, whatever top university they got. Yeah, I hope he doesn't get caught with drugs or beating his woman. That's what's going on at the dinner table. And then when you turn around now and help yourself, then they can't say that at the dinner table, and it starts a stir. And again, they instinctively know to turn on us. Watch. Now, I don't even want to put it out in the air, but in a minute, them old Capitol riot ones and all that, you black leaders, you better get ready, because you about to have to deal with them real soon. Because they instinctively are going to come together against you. They're going to instinctively do it. Salakia. That was it.
That Cortez sister, that Puerto Rican sister in the Bronx, there was a congresswoman. They were in her office trying to kill her. She was hiding behind the stall, the bathroom stall, as they were looking for her.
Damn.
What's her name? Angelina OCT?
I'm not sure, sir.
I forget her name. Cortez. I think her name is Cortez, isn't it?
Cortez. They were saying, where is she? Where is she? And she was behind the bathroom stall door.
Imagine that.
Andrea Cortez.
Imagine that.
She was behind the stall door, making herself fit. And they were pushing in her office door, looking in the bathroom, didn't see her. She was behind the metal stall door, holding herself, not breathing, for fear that they were going to kill her and rape her in her office in the Congress.
Which they were.
Shalom.
Yeah.
Which they were. And once again, that's how they move when they feel threatened. I mean, this is a congresswoman. They treated her like a Puerto Rican in a bodega. They treated her like a stick-up robbery brother in the South Bronx. That's how they treated her. That's the spirit that they in. And they don't have to think about it. Like, they didn't all know each other that went up in that Capitol. But they went up in that Capitol, brother. They were one. And they were one about taking back, in their own stupid ass mind, take back their country. And eventually, Esau is going to do what he has always done with them. He has always pointed them at us.
That's it.
And said, this is your problem. Not us up here. This is your problem. Damn near that stimulus package that Biden just signed is damn near fodder to help them point the finger at us.
That's it.
And you're going to eventually have to deal with the Egyptians, man. You ain't going to escape the Egyptians forever. You're going to have to deal with these Egyptians. And if the Lord ain't with you, you done. He's with the I.S.U.P.K. And you should be too. as the Lord will be with you when that day comes. Salaki, go ahead.
Yedaya. Next story. Please.
So it's like it. Deion Sanders thinks Instagram model Brittany Renner is a gold digging, dodging sensei. Some say the best education is an unorthodox education, especially when it comes to saving you a lot of money. Earlier this month, we reported that the former cornerback Deion Sanders, who is currently the head coach at Jackson State University, invited Instagram model Brittany Renner to teach his student athletes the gold-digging birds and the ins and out for your money, honey bees. In other words, she taught them if they ever become rich and famous professional athletes, they need to watch out for women who are looking for deep pockets and status upgrades rather than love.
That's a hardcore lesson, sir. Yedaya.
If I may, the woman that he chose is the prime example of the brothers need to avoid. And you can ask, you know what I mean, the young brother PJ Washington, who she kind of Jada Picketed the brother, sir. She has a good. She started talking to the young brother.
Who is PJ Washington?
PJ Washington is a basketball player. Is a point guard for the Charlotte Hornets, sir. Mm-hmm. And he was around 17, 18 when she started, talking to him and getting with him. And I believe she was already 27.
Mm-hmm.
And, she got with him, had a baby by him. And now he's paying somewhere $500,000, $600,000 in child support.
And so now Deion Sanders hired her to come down and talk to the football team to avoid people like her.
Khan.
That's I haven't thought of that. Sir, I never thought to just bring the hoe to class. I never even. I got some ideas.
Go ahead, ho. Tell him, ho. Go ahead.
Tell him, ho. Tell him what you're gonna do to him. Deion Sanders brought the hoe to the locker room.
Damn.
So the hoe could tell him, don't you never talk to anybody like me.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that is a beneficial lesson.
And listen, and once again, why they hating on old Deion? Trying to help them brothers out.
Hell no. Like, man.
Hating on the brother like that.
So go ahead, you die. So like we got short with the time. Con, you better move on. We got 30 minutes.
Khan, sir. Jake Paul delivers wild knockout win and rematch with Tyron Woodley.
Here's another sports story, sir. I don't know if you heard about this. This was a big fight I found out about yesterday. Jake Paul, I'm not sure what the hell. What is he? Is he a fighter?
You got to talk in the mic, you die. I can't hear you.
Con. Jake Paul is a Edomite YouTuber. He's been a amateur boxer for the past, I want to say, years, sir.
Is that same Edomite that been fighting that Jake, beat him up a couple of times?
At least once.
Yeah. He beat him the first time and he knocked him out this time.
Yikes. He knocked him out pretty terrible. It was disgusting.
And so they just had another fight?
They had part 2, yes.
What's his last name? Jake what?
Jake Paul. You died?
And if I could, Jake Paul knocked the brother out. Both their mothers came in, and Tyron Woodley's mother was, laughing and joking, hugging Jake Paul's mother and him, while Tyron Woodley just sat there with his head down, sir. That's embarrassing.
And Tyron Woodley, I think, is an MMA fighter. Is that right?
Khan.
He's not a boxer. So here's the fight right here, sir.
I mean, the Jake looks half his size.
He is half his size. And it's like basically this is an exhibition fight.
Like once again,
fighting somebody back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Right. Like once again, this is sad. Yeah. Because if they was to put pound for pound, brother against this Edomite, this Edomite would never win. But they need a new Rocky. And
that's it.
He could barely hit this brother. I can get 2 cats straight off of the Hebrew Academy that would post this Edomite up and put him down in 30 seconds.
That's it. You die.
Oh, I volunteer so I can take Jake Paul.
Right.
Like this is a joke.
And sir, if I could, this fight only made money because there was the prospect of a white man knocking out a black man.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Otherwise, it wouldn't have made any money.
Exactly.
This is why it made money, because in their heart, they just want to beat you so bad. And just so you know, without oppression, blacks and Hispanics would beat you in the courtroom, in the medical room, in the operating room, in the science lab. We would beat you everywhere. There would be nowhere that an oppressor could have victory over a black and Hispanic in any field, in any career choice, without question. Salakia, sir.
Yeah.
You're right. And that's why they got to keep giving rematches and rematches when this is a damn joke. Like in the entire boxing world, I mean, what, 5 Edomites have actually done something great in modern times? Like if that, my brother's been smoking these cats out like lunch.
Like, you know, they need their Rocky, sir. And what you said about this is the key. They need their Rocky. Like just like how Rocky wasn't a real fighter, this cat Jake Paul not a real boxer, a real fighter. But they need that image. They need that feeling of this cat destroying a brother. You know what I mean? Like how you said, they need that back again. Was all ties into the whole, storming the Capitol and all of them taking back. Like with Obama in office, they lost so much. So now, any chance they get to try to prove and show that they're better than the so-called black man or Hispanic Native Indian, they're going to do it. And
that's right.
This they champion now, even though it ain't real. Like Rocky wasn't real. Rocky wasn't real.
And they put that bastard in the Hall of Fame. And he's a goddamn actor.
He's a myth.
They put him in the they put him in the Boxing Hall of Fame. He's a goddamn actor. He ain't never fought a professional fight. You understand?
That fairy tale makes Edomites, it inspires them. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And here's what's more frightening. Their masculinity is tied to our oppression.
That's it.
Yeah.
Like them being masculine means we got to be oppressed.
That's it.
Like they ain't comfortable unless they're oppressing us. That's what makes them feel like a man, which is a problem because it means you can't never feel like a man unless you come into the truth and serve the Lord. That's why they brutalize our brothers on the street when arresting them. They have the authority and the gun. So now is the time to unleash all of their masculinity on you and try to break your spirit. But thanks be to the Lord, our brothers have been unbreakable for 400 years. And this Edomite better get ready that our spirit will never be broken.
Come.
So they got to, like you said, they got to create a Rocky movie to try and make themselves look like they so cool.
Yeah,
they got him jumping around the ring like he's so cool and he's so tough. Show a little more of that footage, Marah. Like he's so cool and he handling his business. Meanwhile, this cat could barely even fight. He might be a little decent in MMA, but he could barely fight. Look, like it got him looking like he's so cool and so tight. When this cat man couldn't do, he barely got pose, man, a stance. You know what I mean? So.
And like you said, that brother, he's very small. Look like Kevin Hart up in there.
Yeah.
Fighting damn Drago.
You could get a retired boxer. Hell, George Foreman will come in there and beat his ass. Yeah. George about 60-something years old. George will do something with him. And so that's
like with them, sir. Even with this here, somebody put a comment about him taking steroids or XYZ and his body changed, right? Just the whole thing of, I used to be around, the oppressor a lot when I was in our oppressor's so-called military, right? I never forget, we went overseas, right? We went to Spain. And over in Spain, you can go buy pure testosterone over the counter. Like pure. And a lot of them oppressors were buying pure testosterone and giving themselves shots in the behind. So they over there, they working out. We overseas on a boat, they working out. I mean, these cats would get huge. and they would get puffed up in their head like they were so tough. But yo, the crazy part about it was we would work out regular push-ups in the gym, and we had some size to us. But when we came back home, they shrunk. But I mean, they shrunk. They went from being mighty and muscle to being like a toothpick. You know what I mean? To let you know that they don't have what we have naturally.
Right.
And they ain't got that physical specimen, that we got naturally. They got to take them supplements to try to get or surpass us. That's something that's stuck in my head. And I remember they was pushing it. They was giving you, somebody had D-ball, Anabol, and I messed around and called myself trying it. And I had to get a needle from the doc, and I got it. And I gave myself a shot. I said, I can't do this no more, man. I gave mine away for free. Lost my money and everything. And this didn't feel right. Sticking myself in the behind with a needle trying to get big with muscles. I said, I ain't doing this, man. I said, y'all can have that. And them boys was doing it. And they got some size, though they was tough. But yo, when we got back home and they stopped taking that stuff, they shrunk. It blew my mind.
Say one thing, guys, and they're not smart as us either.
Mm-hmm.
They're not smart as us, as innovative as us. They don't have the kind of endurance or personal strength that any Black or Hispanic has.
Oh, general.
And it's their dream. It's their dream to defeat us. And the only way they can do that is to cheat and to oppress us and to starve us and to bribe us. Or without that, we would defeat them in the doctor's office, in the science room, in the laboratory. We would invent everything and get the credit for it. We would we would put men on Mars and get the credit for it. We'd be the first computers and get the credit for it. We would defeat them in every way, in every arena, if not for oppression and bribery. Salaki, Commander General Yana.
Damn right. Damn right. Damn right. All right. Can y'all hear me?
Hey, you fine?
Got on my gun, Jim.
Arbitrator reinstates Michigan cop who pulled gun on Black teen delivering newspapers because he learned his lesson, and the firing was undoubtedly devastating.
So this one here, there's another story that's worse than this, right? A white cop pulled a gun on a kid delivering newspapers, right? And he got chastised for it. He got chastised for it, and he refused to fire the cop because he said the chastisement was enough.
In black hoodie, freaking black guy.
He could handle. And they didn't fire him because his sergeant or police chief said that he learned his lesson.
No, I think they did terminate him, but I think they rehired him.
Good Lord.
Because they said he had learned his lesson. Can you play the tape, Marah? Because I think the tape shows how callous he was towards us.
Count on one con, sir. I'll play it from the beginning.
Off-duty DeWitt police officer Chad Vorse decided to follow Alexander Hamilton, a Black teenager who was driving this van in Vorse's neighborhood. Vorse says he thought the teen was breaking into cars and even told Hamilton that when he confronted him, as you can hear in this clip from a Michigan State police trooper that repeated what Vorse said.
He told the kid right to his face, he's like, when I see a Black guy in my neighborhood, that I think you're doing stuff like this.
This was the end of a disturbing interaction between Hamilton and Vorse that started minutes before this 911 call was made.
It's a Black male hanging out in the area, and he needs to be checked.
It was 7:15 a.m. on January 14th, 2021.
Marah, go back.
Came up on Hamilton.
He's a Black guy in the area. He needs to be checked. Wow. Are you in the area? They trying to turn back the clock.
Yeah.
You in the area, you need to be checked. You understand? We'll show you these monsters are. The Lord got that's why you got the Omicron. You got the Omicron because there's no stopping this demon that's on them. There's no stopping it. So they need the Omicron. I know we don't want the Omicron, but they need the Omicron because they just won't stop. You understand? And listen, and illegally stopped the brother and got terminated for it. Got fired. And the police chief went and put him back in. And see, them police chiefs know them cops is leaving, quitting, going to the post office, all that, beating up their wives, getting drunk, all that. So they trying to keep every cop they can because they know the city could descend into hell in some of these cities.
Yeah.
You know, Maze? You want to add more, you die?
Go ahead, there.
Talking to the mic, please.
Here's another story that's similar to this one, sir.
Yeah, if you could get the one with the white woman who killed the brother while driving with the recruit. She's been on the news this week. And that's such an important story when it unfolds. Because right now they got her on the stand looking like Mary Poppins in that yellow dress. Did I freeze on y'all?
Sir.
Good to go. I think he's pulling up the
He's
story.
pulling the story up now.
Oh, okay. Most High in Christ. Like they got this white woman looking like Mary Poppins when she comes in there. She looked like your grandmama that cooks at the bakery. And got her crying and all that. Meanwhile, she was a police chief and a monster. And pulled this brother over simply because she wanted to show a recruit how it was done. Imagine that.
General, that's you don't know how true that is, sir. Like when I remember my training, they would stop cats that they know had warrants on them. These cats would be mental cases. Instead of being locked up, they need to be in a mental institution getting medicine. You know what I mean? Get their head right. Knowing when you lock them up, they ain't going to court because they got a mental problem. But for an example and training purposes to teach you how to do paperwork, they would do a ped stop. But it's a pedestrian stop. And that's normal practice.
Which is insane. They pull up on you with a car, get out, and stop you on the street. So it ain't even a traffic stop. They just stopping you walking down the street like you did something wrong.
Yeah. They can find anything. Like, okay, if you got a dirty tail, like a dirty license tag or something, they can find the smallest thing in them statutes to stop you, to make an example or a training issue with that. They can do anything. It's so much that they do that they can get away with, especially if they worded the right way on paperwork.
Would show you that, you know, they use our lives to train with. And this brother ended up dead. Give us the story, you die.
Connor McCon.
And you can grab some of that footage, Marab. Salakia, go ahead.
Connor McCon. Kim Potter taser mix-up. Ex-officer weeps in manslaughter testimony.
Seen before?
She trying to bring them tears up. She working hard.
Did you say anything when you saw this? What did you do? We were struggling. We were trying to keep him from driving away. It just went chaotic. And then I remember yelling, "Taser, taser, taser," and nothing happened. And then he told me I shot him.
If I could, sir, not guilty.
Yeah,
that's right.
Get ready for her to go home. So prepare yourself because she's not getting convicted. The case is so difficult to prove. They would have to prove that she intentionally pulled her handgun.
Yes.
Intentionally. Okay. And of course, all of the crying means this was definitely a mistake.
The driver said you shot him.
I ain't seen a tear yet.
Oh, please. Like that, listen, that white woman, if she gets convicted, it's a miracle.
Yeah.
There is all but no way that they can prove that she pulled the gun on purpose.
That's
all
right.
that crying is going to mean it was an accident, and you can't put a cop in jail over an accident. If it was an accident, they'll give him more training, and they'll add this and they'll add that. But they're not putting a cop in jail because they have the toughest job on the planet, and sometimes they make mistakes. And that crying meant it was a mistake. Can I give
That's
you
right.
another part, sir, with time that is even more ridiculous?
Go ahead.
About the firing.
McCon.
Check
Yeah,
this
go
out.
ahead.
Honorable Khan. Potter's ex-chief, I saw no violation of policy by officer.
When this first happened, God, sir, please, let me listen to this, please, if you could. When this first happened, okay, now they convicted her later after the riots and after the uproar when the tape hit the media. But when it first happened, she didn't even get fired. Wow. And the mayor told her police chief, you must fire her. Rather than fire her, the police chief resigned.
Damn.
Rather than fire her. Do you understand what that means, sir? That if you're a cop, this taser, because of training, also because this happens all the time. This event right here happens all the time. A cop pulls his taser, shoots someone with his gun when he thought it was a taser. So because of that, they put the taser on the opposite side of the handgun. The taser is yellow. The handgun is black. All of these things done so that they can cut down on cops shooting people when they intend to taser them. Do you know this woman still killed somebody thinking it was a taser, and they were not even going to fire her.
Wow.
She was going to keep her job.
Wow. Even though the brother was dead.
Even though he's dead and the taser is on her left hand, gun on her right, taser is yellow, gun black, and she still shot him, and she wasn't even going to get fired. What job in the world, if you burn the French fries at McDonald's and cost them $300 and made the lunch rush slow down because you burned the French fries, you would get fired.
Yep. That's right.
You get fired from a restaurant because you burned the chicken nuggets or the spaghetti. If you were a fireman and you were putting out a fire and the fire was out, but then because you were smoking, you set the fire again and the house caught on fire again, you would get fired. There is no job where you can be that incompetent and keep your job. If you have one, tell me. You work at Amazon. Can you just break all of the boxes? Can you drop a pylon of boxes and they all break? And would they say, hey, listen, man, things happen. You would get fired from Amazon for dropping a pile of those boxes only because the life of this black man is so irrelevant and so unimportant. Can you keep your job and be that incompetent? He's not going to jail. You can forget that. They're going to say she didn't mean to kill him, which means it was an accident. But damn, the woman can't get fired. You can't just lose. You get to keep your job and you kill a person. You can be that dumb and be a cop. What job can you be that stupid and still keep? You tell me the one. You're a mailman. You take your mail bag and you leave it in your car and forget it. People don't get their mail for a week. Can you keep your job at the mail office?
Fired.
If nobody gets their mail for 1 week?
Fired.
There is no job where you can be that incompetent. And I want somebody to tell me the one that is. Tell me the one where you can go, damn, I put salt instead of sugar in the dessert, in the banana pudding. I put salt and I switched it up. I didn't know the salt from the sugar. So now the banana pudding is disgusting. Now I ruined it. What job can you keep? You can only be incompetent at one job, and that's a cop, because cops police black people and Hispanics. Salakia, sir.
Brother, what you saying is so true. You cannot do that anywhere on the planet. But you can kill a black man, and once again, if it didn't make the news, like you said, they'd have just moved on. And it shows you also how many murderers there are in the patrol cars. The murderers are sitting in them patrol cars that got away with murders. It's ridiculous, man.
If I could, it's like Mariah, go ahead, brother. No, go ahead, Mariah. No, you got it. Go ahead.
No sweat, brother.
I worked in a million slaveries, right? You cannot, it's like y'all bringing out, you cannot make one tiny mistake without getting fired. Now, I didn't get fired at none of these slaveries, but they all run it down to you like, hey, you do this, you get fired. Hey, you do that, you get fired. When I was cleaning, you put the wrong chemical, you get fired. No matter if nobody died. They found out you put the wrong chemical, you gone. I worked at Dunkin' Donuts. You burn them chicken nuggets, you burn them, they don't got chicken nuggets, you burn them hash browns too many times, you get fired. You mix up the menu. You mix up the menu. Oh, I gave him this, but he wanted a number 6. You do that too many times, you get fired. Nobody dies. Nobody.
Moroccan, I take you to it somewhere else. You're a doctor.
Sir.
You're a doctor. You're sewing the man up after surgery. You leave a pair of pliers in the man. You're getting sued for $2 million.
Yeah.
And a cop cannot be sued. You cannot sue a cop. If you're a doctor and you leave a pair of sutures inside of it,
and it has happened.
And it has happened, you're getting sued. I'm being conservative, about $1 million. And you're getting fired from that hospital that you did that in. That is every job that exists. A low job, a high job. Do you know Don Lemon? Do you know the Mayor Cuomo's what's the Cuomo brother, General Yana? Chris Cuomo. They found a text message where Chris Cuomo said when his brother, the governor of New York, was going through a scandal,
right,
sexually harassing everybody that he saw, Chris Cuomo sent his brother a text message, or his brother's aide a text message saying, I will look into it. I will find out how far this story goes. I will call the police. Chris Cuomo got fired. He got fired for sending a text message and interjecting himself into a story.
Yeah.
He got fired because that broke journalistic integrity. You can't go call the police and find out how deep your brother is in investigation. They suspended, what's this homosexual's name from CNN?
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon got suspended from Juicy, what's his name? Jesse Smollett. Because Don Lemon, being a member of the LGBT community, was in communication with Jesse Smollett and told Jesse Smollett, I heard they're investigating you. I will look and see how far it goes. He got suspended. He got suspended for a text message because it broke integrity in journalism. You telling me a cop can reach to his left-hand side, can reach to the opposite side of the stun gun, pull out a black gun when the stun gun is yellow, kill a man, and keep his job. Well, listen, you might be less important than journalism, the news, French fries, or infection in the hospital.
Like the hash brown maker is more important.
They're more important. Those hash browns.
Look, can I read something real quick?
Please.
This was in the Daily Mail today. Here's what it says. It says, Fordham University, that's in the Bronx, fires a white English professor who mixed up the names of 2 black students in class.
Jesus.
Professor sent email after the incident about his innocent mistake and blamed the confused brain. They fired him anyway. And he got fired because he mixed up the names he sent to 2 students. You could shoot a black man in the car and you go back to work as long as the media don't get hold of it. They move business as usual. Like, this is insane.
General, this is so correct what y'all saying. Like I had to, I lived this here. And the reason why that police chief resigned, because he knew what type of officer she was. He knew she didn't have a lot of it. You know who you dealing with. No matter what's going on when you're working, you know who you're dealing with. And they knew, like, her being a training officer was probably just the one job they could find for her. They couldn't give her nothing else. Like, they couldn't give her nothing else because she was incompetent. She was incompetent. You understand? You supposed to a certain way. Now, when I was working, we didn't have stun guns. But I knew when I worked, I knew what I had on my belt. I knew where everything was, and I can do it in the dark. With my eyes closed. That's how you're supposed to be trained. They knew she could not do that. They knew she was incompetent. So the only job they can give her was the training officer. That's all. All you do is ride around, check off the box on what they're doing, what they ain't doing, talk to them, see how they respond, and turn it in. There was nothing else for her to do. Be that incompetent, she couldn't be on the street by herself. She couldn't. She couldn't make a car stop by herself. She couldn't. Which is why, you know, when she went to reach for the taser, she didn't know where it was at. That lets you know the level of incompetency that's in that department, which is another reason why he resigned. He knew he wasn't doing a job for the men underneath him. He knew it. The man knew it. The department knew it. And all of them knew that she was incompetent. But she had one thing going for her that most people don't have. Her skin. Her race, her people. And they down for each other no matter what. So you know what? I'm going to resign. It's like it, sir.
That's crazy. That is absolutely crazy. Hey, I want to tell everybody, man, I want to invite you to pay your tithes. Support this truth. Go to ISUPK.com and pay your tithes. Also, if you're booking rooms for the Passover, get up on it. ISUPK.com is first come, first serve. First 75 rooms in the first hotel. We got the whole hotel. We got every room in the house. Rooms are going fast. We didn't realize putting it up on the website would make it go so fast. So please go and book your rooms immediately. It's first come, first serve. Your names will be put in first into the hotel itself on a weekly basis, and you'll get rolling from there. Also, pay your Passover now online. You can pay your Passover straight off of the website, or you can go to the usual channels, ISUPK.com. Arizona, get ready for General Muhammad coming out to Arizona. That's coming up. General Mayak in Boston getting ready to come up. Also want to give another congratulations to Captain Katazan and the whole New York squad for holding down. General Mayak was out there with them, holding it down for the Times Square throwdown. What else did I miss this week? Anything else that jumped off this week?
The brothers went out to Kentucky. I know the Nashville camp went out to Kentucky to review the damage out there and to do a food giveaway. And Captain Ty Ward took the men over to Trenton to do a big food giveaway. I pray I'm not forgetting anything else.
Damn right. Big shout out to Captain Ty Ward. Big shout out to Tennessee. Holding it down. Hey, I'll see y'all next time. Hebrew Academy, man. Keep on swinging. All right. See y'all next time live on the UPK, fam. All right, shalom.
About the popes of Rome, that they were black. He's learned many things. I'm going to bring him up. Bring him up. Bring Rocky on up here for a minute. I'm going to let him come up and he can say a few things. Look. We did some research on him also, and we found out that there's a lot of white people in New York and in America that don't like this guy. And they classified him as, what was that name? They said communist, right. They said that this guy is a communist, that he's in the movie production business and that he's a CIA operative and a whole lot of other BS they said about him. They said a lot of negative things about him and gave us a lot of hate mail to our school on this one white. Can you believe that? Here's white people sending hate mail. Yeah, it's right. Sending hate mail on this guy. Because we showed him on TV one time and they said that he's a communist and an atheist. And they said there's a lot of hate mail. But what I'm going to ask him some simple questions. And I'm not hypnotizing him. I'm not the amazing question. I'm not waving a wand. He's not on crack. I don't see any heroin tracks on his feet or his arms or anywhere else on him. But I'm going to ask him a couple of simple questions, and he's going to answer the questions directly without playing a game. According to the Bible, I'm calling him Rocky fictitiously. Rocky, according to the Bible now, from what you've read, well, maybe his name is Rocky. I don't know. Rocky Stone. Well, he's got a driver's license. CIA can make up driver's license, but I don't know. But we're going to give him that. We're going to say he's Rocky Stone, just like the Flintstones or whatever. But anyway, I'm going to give him the credit and say his name is Rocky. According to bibliography, in world history and nations that have checked out the world. Is the white man the devil? Yes or no?
Yes.
Hold it. Did you hear that? I don't think the audience heard this. I'm gonna let. How many of you heard that? Raise your hand and say, I can't hear you. Okay, you heard a white man stand there say that. According to the Bible, Mr. Rocky Stone, is the Negro in the United States the biblical Jew? Yes or no?
Fact.
Stop. Did you hear that? Yes. I don't think you blacks in the audience heard that, because you know why? You blacks are on an African trip. You think you're black, you think you're an African, you think you're a Muslim, you think you're everything except according to the Bible. There's a scholar in New York by the name of Charles Berlitz that not too long ago did an expedition and an excavation up to the mountains of Arid. And he was allowed to use surface radar by the United States and the Soviet Union and parts of a camera from the space shuttle to film Noah's Ark. Do you know that? You blacks though, what do you know? You blacks, what do you know? You're locked up in jail, you're on drugs. You're in the ghetto, you don't know anything. You're just a bunch of yes boys. But here's an intelligent white man telling you that you are the biblical Jews. I'm gonna ask him again. According to the Bible, is the Negro in America? Listen, black man, you're doing a lot of talking, you're not listening. I'm asking the white man now. According to the Bible, is the black man in America the biblical Jew?
Old King James Bible, that's a fact.
The King James Bible is a fact, okay. The King James Bible is a fact, plus King James was a black man. Constantine was black. Richard the Lionhearted was black. During 1492, when Michelangelo and Leonardo da Vinci was sanctioned by the Roman Catholic Church under the first white popes, being the Borgias family, their forerunner being Calixtus III, up until today, they have been destroying all of the black art and images throughout all of Europe. They painted all the black pictures of Jesus white. Am I right or wrong, Rocky?
That's a fact.
What do you black people got to say? Where's the old Negro preacher at? I want him up here. Where's he? Where's a black preacher at? Where's a black preacher that got a big mouth on Sunday morning, eating a lot of cornbread and drinking Kool-Aid and picking a guitar and a banjo? Where's your big fat mouth at? Here's a white man telling you you don't know what the hell you're talking about. We didn't drug this guy, and guess what? We like this white guy right here. You know why we like him? Because he tells the truth. And he's not afraid to tell the truth to the white race or the black race.
Amen.
Go ahead. You had something else to say.
I'm not talking off the top of my head. I own 50 different Bible dictionaries.
You checked out 15 different Bible. 50. I'm sorry. 50.
I'm not talking
50 different Bible dictionaries, Shaw. Go ahead.
All right. Also 20 Bible encyclopedias.
20
I'm not
Bible
talking off the top of
encyclopedias.
my head. If you want to research it, you're going to find the facts.
Are we telling the truth here on this corner, Rocky?
Amen.
This brother said amen. He said we're speaking the truth here. Are we just a bunch of dumb Negroes on the corner, or do we have facts?
Facts.
We have facts. Was this picture painted in 1492 or was it not? Hold the picture up. Give me a brother over here. Here's a white guy. Wait a minute. Rocky, I see a very disturbing look on this guy's face. Here's a young white man, a little overweight. I don't know how much he weighs. Maybe 210 pounds, 205. He looks a little disturbing, a little upset. And he had a Negro standing by him that's walking across now. He whispered something to him. I don't know what he said, huh? But anyway, here's a white guy that's looking like, is this guy on drugs? You know, doesn't he see these guys are, they're racist? What's going on here? Here's my own white flesh speaking against me. What do you got to say to him?
I don't even talk to white people that don't acknowledge they come from Esau.
Sure.